Have you ever sat alone and wondered, what would I do if I suddenly had a heart attack and no one was around? It's not a thought anyone likes to entertain, but for many people, especially those living alone or spending a lot of quiet time by themselves, it's a very real concern. And the truth is, heart attacks don't always come with a big warning. They can strike without much notice, and those first few minutes, they're the most critical. Most of us think we'd have enough time to react, or that someone would be there to call for help. But what if they aren't? What if it's just you, and your body is telling you something's wrong? In this video, we're going to talk about 7 important things you can do if you feel a heart attack starting and you're all alone. These aren't complicated steps. They're things anyone can do, and they're backed by real science and experience. Some of them may surprise you. Some may even go against what you've been told before. But each one could buy you precious minutes, and those minutes could save your life. Now, before we jump in, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from? Comment below and share your city. I always enjoy hearing from you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips like these. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Point 1. Recognizing the earliest warning signs. If you ever feel something strange in your body and think, this feels off, don't ignore it. When it comes to heart attacks, the very first signs can be quiet, small, and easy to dismiss. But that's exactly when you need to pay attention the most. You might expect something dramatic, like sharp chest pain or collapsing to the floor. But most real heart attacks don't start that way. In fact, many people feel only a mild discomfort or a strange pressure that builds slowly. And if you're older, the symptoms can show up in ways that don't even seem related to your heart. Here's what you need to look out for: a tightness, pressure, or squeezing feeling in the middle of your chest. It might feel like someone's sitting on your chest, or like your chest is being filled with something heavy. It might come and go, or it might stay. Even if it's not a sharp pain, take it seriously. You might also feel short of breath, even if you're just sitting still. Some people describe it like they suddenly walked up a flight of stairs, except they didn't. That's your body telling you it's struggling to get enough oxygen. Other signs can include discomfort in the left arm, shoulder, back, neck, or jaw. You might feel lightheaded, start sweating for no reason, or feel sick to your stomach. Some people feel extremely tired all of a sudden, like they've run out of fuel. And here's something very important: for older adults, especially women, the signs are often not focused in the chest. You might feel pain in your back, or even pressure in your upper stomach, and never feel anything in your chest at all. That's why it's so important not to wait for the classic signs you've seen in movies. Let me give you a quick example. A man named Richard, 74 years old, once felt a strange tightness in his collarbone area, not his chest. He thought it was heartburn, but then he noticed he couldn't take a full breath. His hands were clammy. Because he acted right away, he got the help he needed in time. So please, don't wait for the pain to be bad enough. If something feels off, especially if you have more than one symptom, listen to your body. Recognizing these early whispers could be your first and only warning. And it might just save your life. Point 2. Calling emergency services immediately. Once you feel those warning signs we just talked about, chest pressure, shortness of breath, sudden fatigue, or pain in unusual places, don't wait. Your very next step is the most important one of all: call 911 immediately. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Maybe it's just gas. Maybe I'm overreacting. Or, let me wait a few minutes and see if it goes away. But that hesitation? That delay? It can be deadly. When you're having a heart attack, every minute counts. The longer your heart is deprived of oxygen, the more damage it takes. And if too much damage happens, there's no going back. But calling 911 right away brings help directly to you. The paramedics are trained, prepared, and equipped with the tools that can literally keep you alive on the way to the hospital. Please, do not try to drive yourself, even if you think you can make it. Many people have lost consciousness while driving to the ER, causing crashes or dying before they arrive. And don't call a friend or family member first. I know it's natural to want to talk to someone you trust, but help needs to be on the way before anything else. Once the call is made, then you can contact your loved ones. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 78 and lives alone. One afternoon, she felt a strange ache in her shoulder and then got hit with nausea and a cold sweat. She reached for her phone and almost dialed her son, but then remembered something a nurse once told her: call 911 first. Talk to your family later. That quick choice saved her life. When the ambulance arrived, her condition had worsened, but they were ready. She got oxygen, medication, and fast transport. Also, make sure your phone is always close by. And if you have a smartphone, learn how to use the emergency call feature. Some phones can dial 911 even when locked. Point 3. Chewing an aspirin calmly and quickly. Once you've called 911, the next thing you can do, if you're not allergic and you're not on certain blood thinners, is chew an aspirin. Not swallow. Chew. This one small action can make a big difference in whether you survive the heart attack or not. Aspirin works by thinning the blood. When you're having a heart attack, it's often because a blood clot is blocking one of the arteries that feed your heart. Chewing an aspirin helps slow the growth of that clot, and in some cases, it may even help restore a little blood flow while you wait for help. That means less damage to your heart by the time paramedics arrive. Why chew it instead of swallowing? Because chewing gets it into your bloodstream faster. Time matters, and the quicker the aspirin starts working, the better. A regular strength aspirin is 325 milligrams, that's the one you want if it's available. If you only have baby aspirin, 81 milligrams, chew 4 of them. You might be thinking, what if I haven't eaten anything today? Normally, you shouldn't take aspirin on an empty stomach. But in the case of a possible heart attack, the benefits far outweigh the risks. Even if it makes your stomach feel a bit upset, saving your heart is more important in that moment. If you live alone, keep a bottle of aspirin somewhere easy to reach, in your kitchen drawer, your nightstand, or even in your wallet or handbag. Check once in a while to make sure it hasn't expired. Also, tell your family or friends where you keep it, just in case they ever need to help you. Let me tell you about Joe, age 72. One morning, he felt a tightness in his chest that began spreading up toward his neck. He didn't panic. He sat down, called 911, and remembered the aspirin bottle in the kitchen. He chewed one calmly and waited. Later, his doctor told him that taking that aspirin likely reduced the severity of the heart damage. That one pill helped keep things from getting worse. Point 4. Sitting or lying down to protect your heart. After calling 911 and chewing an aspirin, the next thing you need to do is probably the easiest, and yet one of the most powerful steps: sit or lie down. Don't move around. Don't try to tidy up. Don't unlock doors or find your shoes unless absolutely necessary. Just stop and allow your body to focus on one thing: staying stable. When your heart is under stress, even small movements, like walking to another room, can put extra strain on it. That strain can speed up damage, make symptoms worse, or trigger dangerous changes in your heart's rhythm. The goal is to conserve energy, reduce the heart's workload, and give it the best chance to keep beating steadily until help arrives. Now, how should you position yourself? If you're feeling dizzy or lightheaded, lie down on your side with a small pillow or something soft under your head. If you feel better sitting up, sit in a comfortable chair with your back supported and feet flat on the ground. Keep your arms loose at your sides. No slouching. No stiff posture. Just relaxed and steady. Try to breathe slowly. In through your nose, out through your mouth. You're not trying to fix the problem with this step, you're simply keeping your body from slipping into a worse state. Even your breathing helps. Slower breaths mean less oxygen demand, and that gives your heart a bit of a break. Let me tell you about Alice, who's 81. One morning, she felt pressure across her chest while doing dishes. Her first thought was to finish up, wipe the counter, and get dressed before calling anyone. But then she remembered something her doctor had said: if it's your heart, everything else can wait. She left the sink as it was, walked to her favorite chair, sat down, and waited. That stillness, those few minutes of calm, very likely prevented her heart from going into full arrest before the ambulance got there. Point 5. Unlocking your door for emergency responders. If you're still feeling steady enough after calling 911, taking aspirin, and sitting or lying down, there's one more small, but powerful, step you can take: unlock your door. It might sound simple, but in an emergency, those few seconds can make all the difference between getting help on time and losing precious minutes. When paramedics arrive, they'll be ready to act fast. But if your door is locked and you can't get up to open it, they'll have no choice but to break in. That takes time, causes damage, and might even scare you if you're close to the door. And in those moments, when your heart is struggling, every single second counts. If you're able to walk safely to the door without making your symptoms worse, go ahead and unlock it. Do it slowly, and don't try to do anything else while you're up. Then sit or lie back down immediately. If you live in a gated building or have a complex address, make sure your unit number is visible and your entry is easy to find. Emergency responders need to get in as quickly as possible, and small obstacles can lead to dangerous delays. Think about Paul, 76, who lives in a small condo. When his chest started tightening, he followed the steps exactly, called 911, chewed an aspirin, and sat down. But then he remembered something a friend had told him: unlock the door. So he carefully got up, opened the front door, and sat back down. The paramedics said later that simple action saved them 30 to 40 seconds, and allowed them to start care immediately. It didn't seem important at the time, Paul said. But I'm glad I did it. If getting to the door is too risky, don't force it. Your safety comes first. But you can plan ahead, consider installing a smart lock, using a lockbox with a spare key, or giving a trusted neighbor or friend access to your home. Emergency responders are trained to handle locked doors, but anything that removes a barrier speeds up the help you'll receive. Point 6. Using your phone's speaker or emergency ID features. When you're alone and a heart attack begins, your phone becomes more than just a phone, it becomes your lifeline. And how you use it in those first few minutes can make a big difference. One of the smartest and easiest things you can do is switch to speaker mode after calling 911. Why? Because holding the phone to your ear takes effort, especially when you're in pain, short of breath, or feeling faint. Using speakerphone lets you breathe freely, stay still, and keep both hands relaxed. It also lets the dispatcher hear everything happening around you, including your breathing, background noise, or if you suddenly stop responding. That information helps them assess your condition even if you can't speak clearly. Another important tool on your phone is the medical ID feature. It's built into most smartphones, yes, even if you're not tech-savvy. On an iPhone, responders can access it from the lock screen. On Android phones, there's usually a similar option. This feature stores key health details: your age, medical conditions, medications, allergies, and emergency contacts. So, if you lose consciousness before help arrives, paramedics can see this information right away and make safer, faster decisions about your care. Let me tell you about Susan, 79. She had set up her phone's medical ID months ago but never thought much about it. Then one day, she passed out just before the paramedics got to her. They checked her phone, saw that she was allergic to penicillin and diabetic, and adjusted her care immediately. They also called her daughter using the emergency contact listed. That small setup saved Susan from receiving the wrong medication and allowed her family to be with her at the hospital faster. If you haven't already, take 5 minutes today to set up your medical ID. Include your full name, date of birth, any major health conditions, medications you take regularly, allergies, and 2 emergency contacts. It's free, easy, and could make all the difference in a crisis. And next time you call for help, don't struggle to hold the phone. Use speaker mode, stay calm, and let your phone speak for you, especially if you suddenly can't. It's one more way to stay in control, even when the situation feels completely out of your hands. Point 7. Slowing your breath to steady your heart. When you're having a heart attack, it's easy to feel like your body is spiraling out of control. Your chest feels tight, your hands might be trembling, and your thoughts are racing. But even in that moment, when everything feels overwhelming, there's one tool you still have, right there with you, your breath. Slowing your breathing is not going to fix the heart attack, but it can help calm your nervous system, lower your stress, and keep your heart from going into a dangerous rhythm. When you panic, your breathing becomes fast and shallow. That tells your heart to beat faster, which is the last thing you want. By breathing slowly and deeply, you can help your body stay just calm enough to give your heart a fighting chance while help is on the way. Here's a simple way to do it. Breathe in gently through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for just a moment. Then breathe out slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat that cycle. Focus only on your breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your body soften into stillness. You don't need perfection, you just need slow, steady effort. This breathing technique can also help if you start feeling dizzy or overwhelmed. It gives you something to focus on. It slows your racing thoughts. And it sends a clear signal to your body, I'm okay for now. Stay steady. Let me tell you about Frank, 83. When his symptoms started, he felt like everything inside him was rushing. He could barely think. But he remembered a breathing exercise his doctor once taught him. He began to focus on each inhale and exhale. Slowly, he felt himself calm down just enough to stay conscious. By the time paramedics arrived, his heart was still unstable, but he hadn't passed out. He later said, I just kept thinking, stay calm, stay alive. Practicing this kind of breathing when you're relaxed, like during TV time or while resting, can help train your body to return to it when you're scared. The more familiar it feels, the easier it will be to use when it matters. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's that you're not powerless. Even if you live alone. Even if no one is around when it happens. A heart attack can feel like the loneliest, scariest experience imaginable, but with the right steps, you have more control than you might think. These 7 actions, recognizing the early signs, calling 911 right away, chewing an aspirin, sitting or lying down, unlocking your door, using your phone smartly, and calming your breath, may seem simple. But they form a chain of survival. Each one buys you more time. Each one helps your heart hold on just a little longer. And each one shows that you're not giving in to fear, you're choosing to fight. You don't need to memorize every detail right now. But try to practice the mindset. Make aspirin easy to reach. Learn how your phone's emergency features work. Think about how to make your home easier for responders to access. Practice slow breathing when you're feeling calm. The more you build these habits into your daily life, the more automatic they'll feel if you ever need them. Heart attacks often catch people off guard. But they don't have to catch you unprepared. So let me ask you, which step today surprised you the most? Was there one that made you stop and think, I never would have thought of that? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment and share one thing you learned, or something you plan to do differently from now on. Your insight might help someone else, too. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Whether it's a friend, a neighbor, or a family member, they deserve to know how to protect themselves too. You never know whose life might be saved just because you passed this along. Thank you for spending this time with me today. It means a lot. You've taken a powerful step toward protecting yourself and being ready for the unexpected. So until next time, stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, even when you're alone, you're never without hope.